Uh, it is mind-boggling. And if Clark says how long he's been training, I understand you're going to go, that's a commitment of a lifetime. If I talk about me starting when I did at 9, again, I understand that. We're here not to say one way or another way is better. We're just saying there's options for you and you can get better regardless of what your decision is on how you want to do health and fitness. So let me just say that again to everybody here. We're not on here going, ha ha, he's got you. That's not what we're doing. We're just going for his decision on how he wants to live his life. He committed for 10 years. I get that that's a long time. And I know that that's very, and Clark, you can correct me if I'm wrong. To most people, they seem like, I want it by next month. I get that. I understand that. And there's ways to do that. His way is he kind of wanted to do what Clark and I did and take the long road and was willing to do it. Clark, can you speak on that? Because I don't want them to get the wrong idea. We're just trying to show there's the internet trolls that go, sure, in a month you can do something, but also over a long period of time you can do something amazing.
Well, can I jump in 1 second?
I just want to get him on the time thing because that's it's not the good sale. Hey guys, here's my program. It takes 10 years to get there, but you'll get there. That doesn't sound good, and I understand that to most people.
This is healthcare.
But
I've had more marketing geniuses tell me, don't ever use the word lifestyle. Don't ever use the word mindset. Don't ever use the word work and discipline because these are not sellable things, but it's the truth. I was thinking about it last night because I had a guy that came to me that took 20 years to get out of shape because he was a college athlete. He was a police officer. And then he came to us saying, I need help. I'm out of shape. I don't feel good. Then it came time for the investment. And he backed out. And it was bothersome to me because I told him the truth about my program. I didn't do what a lot of these people do online. We didn't say in 6 weeks you're going to be where you were in college. I said, this is long-term. This is a long-term deal. And we can get you where you want to go, but you're going to need to stick with this. So, yeah, it's frustrating to me to hear these things from people. And I'm always going to just be honest and say it takes work. Like Bryce is a perfect example of that.
Yeah, the long term for me, I would ask people to even look beyond. Yes, of course, if you are going to go on vacation, you want to go take your shirt off at a pool and look great. It's great. Have I done that? Yeah. Had the benefit of doing that? Yeah. And that's excellent. But, what about when you are plus 20 years, plus 30 years, look at your relatives, look at people that are now receiving care as they age and decide what knowledge and what practices can you put into place now that are going to help you deal with that the best. That's how I think, because I want to be able to get up when I'm 70 and 80 and go take a shower and have blood move and everything. I don't want to, hopefully, knock on wood, not have to have people, pull me up and deal with me in those situations. I want to be as strong as I can be. And this is all preparation for that. This to me is healthcare. This is long-term healthcare. The benefits are at 50 looking 30 or 35. And people are like, wow, you look 35. It's great.
Clark, I would love you to talk about this because it's perspective, right? Clark's, your perspective, Clark, is different than mine, which is different than Bryce. You with me, Clark?
Yeah.
Bryce is an agent. I can say this.
Yes,
right?
I'm an agent.
He's an agent. He's very. So his life is work, his pup like mine, and healthcare. And I want to train 3 days a week. I don't want to do 6. I don't want to do 5 hours in the gym. I don't want to do that. I just want 3 days a week, eat healthy and stuff. So his perspective from most people that are on here today is probably completely different. Most of you on here want to look like Clark Bartram. I want to look like Clark. My question, though, is, Clark, can you talk about from the guy that is not going to get on stage to the guys that want to get on stage? Can you talk about time, about testosterone and the pros and cons of, not the pros and cons, because I think everything's great. As long as you're trying, it's great. But what's your take on the time period?
Well, for anyone, there's a maturity process that happens with our bodies. I was looking at a guy in the gym who did his first show, and he's walking around like he's the greatest thing in the gym. And I'm looking at him like, man, there's so much more that you could accomplish with your body, but he can't see it because he's so caught up in the current moment. And I'm trying to help him understand you're going to get better with time. Your next show, you'll be better. You're going to develop these areas that are lacking, that are people telling you this is the reason you didn't win. And he just got caught up in the moment. So he got caught up in some of the things that I don't think are right because they don't work for the long term, like the drugs and the things like that. So my job as a sage, if you will, is to depart this wisdom onto these people who think that it needs to happen right now. And Bryce said it, it's about longevity. And we talk about longevity all the time. I heard this said yesterday on a podcast I was listening to about that very subject. They said, create the life that you want to extend. Like extending your life is one thing, but who wants to extend a life that you don't want to live, right? I want to extend the life that I want to live. So that's what I'm creating right now is that situation and that scenario to want to get to 100. I don't want to get 100. Like Bryce said, we have people, the last two guys that joined my program paid a lot of money to join it, and they both said the same thing. I don't want to be in a facility, just like Bryce said, where people are wiping my butt, doing these things that aren't conducive to a life worth living. Yesterday, I'll give you a real quick story. I was out playing football. My son, Mitch, his college buddy showed up. He played defensive end, stand-up defensive end, athletic kid, powerful. So there's three of us out there on a 100-yard football field, and we're quarterback, receiver, defensive back. That's what you do when you got three people. And we're rotating around. And every rep I got up, I wanted to win. You know what I mean? And I wanted to catch the ball. And there was one. I caught it on a slant. I ran. And I'm running next to this kid. In my mind, while I'm running next to him, thinking, I'm 60 years old. I'm running. I'm like, I'm 60. I'm looking at this kid chasing me. And we're going back and forth. And he got to the sideline and he pushed me to knock me out. And I just stayed right along the sideline. And I looked back and he looked at my son and said, damn, he stayed in bounds. And I was running to the end zone. I'm sore as hell today, I ain't going to lie. But that's the life I want to extend. You know what I mean? That's what I want to do.
Yeah.
And I want them talking about me. I want them going, damn. And there were two other kids out there and they said, we see you out here all the time. What's your TikTok handle? That's the life I want to extend. I had dudes just show up here at the house. A guy spent 20 years in prison. He saw me in the gym. He goes, dude, there's something about you. There's this light. He goes, I had to be around you. I want you to mentor me. That's the life I want to extend. So this is what people need to understand. This is more than just looking a certain way. It's about all of the stuff that surrounds what looking a certain way can provide for you. Like you talked about the other day, Mike. I love living in my life because now I have resources to give to Titan. He's going to have the best wrestling coaches. He's going to have all of this. I know that's off a little bit of what you were talking about, but it's what's on my heart. So they get it.